once we're live.
Here we are.
Oh my God, we are live. This is
You nailed the internet again, Steve.
wow. Yes, I am. I forget what the count is against the internet. New show, new season, new count. Right. So I'm 1-0 against the internet in 2021. Yeah, we're off to a good start here. So yeah, we are here with the first episode of Sutton and The General.
Heck yes.
Yes, we've been waiting a while to do this episode.
Ever so patiently.
Yeah, we've just taken forever to actually do this. So
I mean, we're busy boys, man.
See, that's like you said, that's what makes us blue collar.
100%.
But yeah, so I mean, we got to talk what everyone's talking about these past few days. We lost a legend.
We did.
On Friday, man. We kind of knew it was coming after guys on life support for that long. Unfortunately, eventually, it's going to happen. But
yeah,
just a shame. DMX was the guy was huge,
right?
For you people, for you kids who maybe weren't around, DMX really was an icon. And I saw someone put it, man, in era of flashy bling rap, DMX was the cold reminder of the streets.
Yeah,
DMX was one of the last, probably the last gritty street rapper to really make it. You know what I mean?
And that voice behind it gave you everything you ever needed to know about who he was. I mean, that's probably one of the most crazy things about this whole situation is that, you look back at the rappers that we've had in the past and the transition from new rap into, I would even say, today's rap and the past rap that we've had before. But I mean, DMX's voice is just one of those things that you'll never forget no matter where you are. I mean, you could be every time I was at a bar, you would hear X Gon Give It To You and everybody lost their minds, right? And that song literally is 15 years old. So, I mean, it's just one of those timeless songs. He's a timeless artist. The world's going to definitely miss Earl Simmons. The sad thing is, I mean, from what I've read and all this stuff, obviously addiction has always been a part of his life. We all know that. He's never hid that. He just seems like he was always so positive with life, though. No matter
he absolutely was. I mean, dude, look at all these. The best part of this, that's horrible to say. But on the bright side, all these videos that are coming out on social media of DMX, past few days, we all know about the
got a bar mitzvah and stuff,
singing the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We all remember that, but that was awesome. That's so it's so wholesome and genuine. And this dude, I saw one. He just went into an IHOP in Buffalo one day and was like, "Hey, can I make omelets in the kitchen?"
Yeah, just started making food with them.
Dude, I saw someone say he was kind of like the Bill Murray of hip hop. So he didn't do that much for a while there, but he just every once in a while popped up on social media and went viral, just doing something awesome, just loving life.
The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing is probably one of the most significant things that have come out of his career in the last 15 years, and it was hilarious. I mean, and I'm glad that they released it as a single because it was perfect, and it's still my favorite Christmas song. But nonetheless, man, X is going to leave a legacy behind him that I don't think a lot of rappers are going to understand until a couple weeks after this is gone. I mean, I just saw that Jay-Z bought the rights to his music. I think it was $10 or $15 million, but all of that money that Jay-Z bought for that is going directly to his kids, which is absolutely unreal. So
awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers to Jay-Z on that.
Jay-Z was a class act. They came up together. They knew what it was like, how hard it was. I mean, DMX, obviously, like I said earlier, his struggles were pretty well known. I mean, you couldn't really hide from them.
No, and he didn't hide from it.
He documented it.
You shouldn't hide from it, but DMX is not a guy that should be remembered for his struggles.
Hell no.
DMX should be remembered for one, by all accounts, a great father.
Yep.
I, and you know what? He was a businessman. He was a good businessman because he made himself rich off rapping.
Yep.
And you know, he maybe fucked up for a bit of it. Maybe he blew some of his money on drugs. Again, he had his struggles, but and you know, even on the Hollywood side, DMX was in a few of those movies.
Right
were
on the
hits.
grave, bro.
Cradle of the Grave, and I don't know if it's true or not. Someone told me that X Gon Give It To You was written like for that movie.
It was meant for his character.
Yeah, I was watching that yesterday because I just had to watch DMX movies yesterday.
Yeah.
Fuck, made that scene so much better.
Oh yeah, right.
I had the volume up so loud.
No, my other part of it, like I really liked about DMX, like I think you can put on any one of his songs and you get hyped. I mean, Where the Hood At is probably like one of the greatest hype up songs of all time. What's My Name? Like, there's just so many good DMX tunes.
And you forget. I feel like you forget how many good songs there are until you really start like going through like the DMX albums or like, you know, a best of playlist, like something like,
yeah,
not just like going through the songs and you're like, yo, these are all dope. And he resonated with everybody. Like everybody bumped DMX.
big time.
Everybody. The best part, I will, again, the best part, that sounds fucked up. But we all found that out about lunchtime here on Friday afternoon. That's when the news came out.
Right.
Going back up to work, everyone's got a radio on the job sites now. Every fucking radio was blaring DMX. You could not go on the last 2 days. You could not walk anywhere on that site without hearing someone bumping DMX.
Yeah, I mean,
it was kind of fun.
It was pretty wild, to be honest with you, because I mean, even out here, we have in Saskatchewan, not maybe the greatest radio market for something that DMX would get played on, but I was listening to it. I was actually doing a test drive, and I turned 92.1, and shout out to them because they play some just absolute bangers now that they've switched formats. But all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, I'm like, are they playing X Gonna Give It To You on radio? Like what? And I was a little blown away. But Earl Simmons is, like I said, one of the voices. It's going to be one of those people that you'll never forget. And Blind Gaming chiming in here and of course saying to us, good old Saskatchewan Rough Riders enter song, Rough Riders Anthem. You bet. That song is one of the most hype songs of all time too. Very good on that one. But yeah, no, he'll definitely be missed, man. X is going to leave a legacy that is very hard to keep up with. 50 years old. I mean, it's a shame because I feel like that's so damn young. But there was also reports that while he was in his coma state, he acquired COVID-19. So somehow, some way, they're going to twist this into being not an overdose, but they'll make it a COVID-19 related death, as always.
Bullshit. You got this conspiracy, whatever. Just DMX died. I don't care how he died. It's a tragedy that he died.
Big time.
We lost an icon.
Big time.
To wrap up this segment, this is something that me and my buddy were talking about at work yesterday. We know there's going to be someone's going to drop a DMX tribute song in the next couple of years, right? It's probably going to happen.
It'll be in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do we think does it first?
Be interesting. I think Jay-Z probably takes a stab at it. I mean, he's probably been out of the game the longest.
Nas, he was pretty tight with Nas.
They were homies,
and
man.
He was real tight with Snoop.
Yeah, if you watch the Rough Rider Anthem video, Nas makes a cameo in that too. So, I mean, I could see somebody like that, like a major legend coming out of the game and releasing a track for him, and probably all the proceeds would go to his family. But those are the kind of guys that would do that kind of stuff. Jay-Z, Nas, Snoop.
I mean, him and Snoop were doing that Versus thing they did together, which was fucking awesome.
It's so killer. If you get a chance to watch it, go watch it.
If you haven't checked out Versus, after you watch us,
go watch
Versus. I mean, obviously you want to watch us first, but
yeah, it's you get us now.
yeah.
I'm drinking a cup of coffee. He's smoking a.
I got a Mountain Dew. I'm smoking a bowl. It's almost like Versus, except
it's pretty much like Versus, to be honest, but a lot more entertaining. Just go watch it. But nonetheless, let's get into our next segment, Steve. And once again, rest in peace, Earl Simmons, 50 years old, man. We will miss you, DMX.
All right. Well, I mean, This is pretty much all you here, buddy. WrestleMania. We had night one last night. I did not watch any of it. I'm not the biggest WWE fan. I was supposed to have someone on with you today. Quilty, when you watch this later, you suck. You were supposed to be here. You're supposed to be talking to Andrew. You fucking Quilty. But yeah, so and why don't you fill us in on what went down last night?
Well, WrestleMania night one, fans back in the stands, and one of the most impacted moments. If you don't think that, I know everybody's like, hey, wrestling's fake, blah, 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 blah. Listen, for a split second in history, in a moment in time right now where everything is just so goddamn crazy, America the Beautiful was performed in front of 25,000 fans at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. It's the first event for the first time in a year, a month, and a day that WWE has had a live crowd. So, and that makes a big difference for these folks. And there was a moment where America the Beautiful was being sang, and Rhea Ripley, who is actually going to be headlining tonight, was in tears. And that tells me that these, you might think it's fake, but this is a very real thing for them. They've paid years of sacrifices and tributes to get there.
Well, it's scripted, but I mean, it's scripted, but this is still what they do for a living. This is still the big event. They still perform in front of massive crowds. We all know WWE script. They perform in front of huge crowds. It's obviously a fan base thing. So, yeah, I mean, this is what they do. Of course, they don't know what having fans there. It's a much different ball game. It's different.
Yeah, like I said, night one was really, really good. To be honest, out of 5, I give the show for night one a 3.5. I thought it was decent. There was some moments where there was just, it was real friggin' bad. There was a match it was a women's tag team turmoil match. So basically, it was like a tornado tag type thing where one team gets eliminated, another team comes in, blah, 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 blah. And I thought it was the worst thing I've ever watched. But there was one slip in there that was absolutely hilarious. Now, if you want to go on YouTube, you have to. But Mandy Rose is like walking down the aisle, and her and Dana Brooke are getting ready to walk to the ring. And it's been raining all day at Raymond James. There was actually a weather delay there. And when they came down, Mandy was walking, and she just slips right on her ass. Like, just, you could tell that it was not part of the show. But I don't
know how you could write that in as part of the show. Yeah, bust your ass when you're walking out. Well,
she gets up,
I'll make you look intimidating.
She gets up, wipes off the ass, dusts off the boots, and walks back down the aisle. Like, I thought it was hilarious, and she did such a tremendous job. But yeah, it was a bad match. That was a horrible, 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 horrible match. I gave that one the worst rating at a 1. It just didn't have any structure to it, and it sucks because later on in the night you got the headlining fight between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for the women's title, and I mean that was that was a very good fight. Near the end, Bianca Belair, who has a ponytail that I would say is probably down to my knees, and I'm 6'2", she grabbed her ponytail and actually whipped Sasha Banks in the side, and the welt and the sound that thing made. Oh my God. I literally went, oh, that sucked. And then when Sasha was getting out of the ring, she was actually laughing, and she looked at the side, and the welt, I'm not kidding you, the welt was generally quite large. And I was like, oh hell, man. So like I said, a lot of it's scripted, but a lot of that stuff, last night, I think
they still get hit.
Oh yeah, the one thing I'll give them credit for is that a lot of the replays that they were showing, and maybe this is just WWE trying to pick up their stuff, but a lot of the replays that I saw last night were people getting kicked in the face, and you could actually see the effects of it. You could see people getting punched and the ripple effect from faces down or body shots. They did a really good job at trying to make it look less fake, I would say.
Well, I've even always felt as much as it's scripted, when you see these guys get I don't know, slammed onto the mat that hard, and they jump off the top rope and drop their elbow into you.
Don't feel good.
Yeah, no, there's no way that you can fake that and have it not hurt.
Yeah,
you can't. Yeah, no. You can't fake that. That's just.
And I will give all credit to there was a match
when someone drops an elbow in your gut. Yeah, that's real.
There was a match that a lot of people wrote off in so far for Mania. And I think it was Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. And I mean, a lot of people were like, where is the general direction of this? The promos all week leading up to it were awful. Like, it was so bad. And then they get in the ring, and Shane McMahon, if you know anything about Shane McMahon in WrestleMania, that guy has a momentary thing every single year. But this year, they're on top of the cage. It's a steel cage match, and Braun grabbed him and said, you know, I'm not stupid, or whatever the hell the stupid buildup was to it, and threw Shane off the top part of the cage onto the mat. And I was like, holy fuck, man. Every year we get one of these from Shane McMahon. So I'm always thankful for Shane McMahon matches, because you get at least one coast to coast and one goddamn fall off some kind of excruciating pain. So never forget a couple years ago when he tried to attack The Undertaker from the top of the Hell in the Cell, and Taker moved and he fell probably about 60 feet in the air. I mean, these guys do it because they want to provide entertainment, and finally having 25,000 fans in the stands, they were able to do something like that last night, which was awesome. Just seeing fans there just gave me optimism again. I mean, also seeing fans at any sporting event, like the Blue Jays and the Rangers the other night. Texas had a full crowd. And it just felt like, for a split second in life, with all the crazy shit that's happening, like we're currently on a lockdown here, it just is good to see people out there enjoying an event, paying for it, having fun. There was rain delays throughout it. Didn't stop the crowd from staying, having a good time. I mean, this is what it was about. And it was ultimately about getting the crowd back. And tonight I am excited for the main event. I'm excited for everything that's going on. It should be a ton of fun night too.
So what do we got tonight that you're looking forward to specifically?
Well, growing up in Canada, obviously, we have a guy named Edge, who is a very large part of my childhood.
This is one that Quilty was telling me about, that I actually...
a very large part of my childhood when I was growing up was a guy named Edge and Christian, the guys from Toronto, Ontario, right? So, no, I'm excited to see the main event. It's going to be Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus Edge in a triple threat match, which I think is going to be lights out, fireworks. I expect at the end of it, I expect some kind of Brock Lesnar appearance. This always happens with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It's going to happen at some point, folks. If I was a betting man, anyways. But
you are a betting man.
Yeah,
we literally bet on stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's true. If I was a betting man, I am a betting man. So nonetheless, this is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. And the story on it too is more so a story that I don't think a lot of people, again, wrestling fake, blah 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 blah. But here's what you need to understand about the situation of this fight in particular. Edge, 10 years ago, was forced to retire and had to get triple neck infusion surgery. Okay, that is nuts. They told him he would never wrestle again. His doctors literally told him the only way you're going to get this is if you build up that strength. And he took 10 years in order to be medically cleared again. So I was like, okay, cool story right there. And that's a real life outside of the ring thing. Daniel Bryan suffered a concussion at the height of his career, and they said that he would never wrestle again. So what did they do? They put him in a management role, kept him on the roster, kept him, there with the crew so that he could medically build himself back up. It took him 3 years. So, and then of course, as we all know, Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania said, I got to push the title. I can't be your guys' champ anymore because there's something that's actually hurting me, not Roman Reigns, the fighter, but a human being. And that is that I have leukemia, right? So he went and got his cancer treatments done and stuff like that. He was out of wrestling for about a year and a half. So, I mean, for this storyline in itself is just a comeback story for all three guys. So this is going to be a really, I think, emotional moment when you see all three of them in the ring, because I think all three of them realize how much shit they've actually gone through not being a wrestler. So again, and if you want my perspective on how you should see this, watch the movie The Wrestler, because that's what this is like for them. Okay. Mickey Rourke is does an absolutely amazing job capturing what wrestling means to somebody. So, I mean, this is a very good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I took Edge on Call Your Shot. It was a controversial pick, nonetheless. People are like, "That's scripted. You know what's going on." I'm like, I have no goddamn idea what's going on. I have no clue. Like last night, I got a couple of them right. I got a couple of them wrong. I mean, it is what it is, but the main event will bring some fireworks. It's going to be a ton of fun. And then again, like I said, Rhea Ripley, my lady, wherever you are, I'm shooting my shot. Rhea Ripley, I love you. Is going to be taking on Asuka for the women's title as well. So it'll be a fun day.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. So this was all brought to you by Living My Best Cigar Life. Don't just live your best life. Live your best cigar life. Go to www.livingmybestcigarlife.com. Use promo code My Best Cigar Life all caps. Get $10 off your first order. But yeah, so we're a little late to the party because we took forever to actually do this episode. But me and Andrew have been dying to actually talk about this. So we're just gonna talk. We got to talk the Snyder Cut real quick and the Suicide Squad. Dude, the Snyder Squad, WB fucked up, man.
Yeah, Warner Brothers really messed up on how they handled all of this. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, Warner Brothers is now going back and forth on what they've been arguing with the Snyder Cut universe and stuff like that, and having the Snyderverse. And I mean, right now, realistically, the Snyderverse is the one thing that everybody wants. I think we lost our host here, so until he gets back, I'll just go over to this screen here. There we go. I think he's just reloading. There we go. He's back.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. It's just
but as I was saying,
difficulties. The internet's trying to even the score here.
They're like, we heard you talking shit
started out
earlier.
1-0, but they ain't gonna beat me.
No, and as I was saying, Warner Brothers is going back and forth with the Snyderverse. I mean, realistically, fans like myself, our editor Mark, I know a lot of us would die to have a Snyderverse after watching a 4-hour-long Snyder movie. That thing was absolutely incredible.
He set it all up. Like I was saying to you earlier, it was all there.
If you don't want to watch 4 hours of some of the best superhero movie action you're ever going to see, and you just want to watch a very pivotal 20 minutes of the movie,
action scene was fucking like 3 times better than what they put out in theaters.
Big time.
Every action scene was way better.
The only thing I will say that I found a little corny, and maybe just because it was the year of the movie, this was 2017, and maybe that was a little cheesy on what I thought. I know they refilmed a lot of it too. The only thing I thought was a little weird was that they kind of paid homage to Marvel in a way. Now, and the only way I'll say that is because let's not forget that Thanos needed the rings in the Marvel universe to gain all of the power. Well, Darkseid kind of does the same thing by collecting the boxes, the Shadow Realm boxes, right?
Unfortunately, Thanos was actually based off of Darkseid.
I know that, but I mean, realistically, because Marvel was stories, first, right?
Yeah, you could have gone with something different, but that was probably the best story to do to introduce Darkseid and everything that quickly.
Right.
I think was probably to just jump right into the Mother Box story, and it should just. I mean, they were playing catch up with Marvel,
and like I said, it was a few years removed, right? Like
because Marvel was able to build it one by one, and I feel like I do think the studio threw it on to Snyder with Batman vs Superman and Justice League. It's all of a sudden like, by the way, so we want what they have, but we want it now. We're not going to give you the 6 solo movies that they got before they did a team up. I said, you have to do it all now.
And like I said, yeah.
Then they butchered his movie. He actually did it. The last 20 minutes of Snyder Cut, man. It's all there.
It literally sets you up for everything. I mean, literally everything. Guest appearance, and if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, you've been living under a rock. It's been out for about a month now. But if you go and you watch it, you'll notice that some special characters make appearances to Bruce Wayne's house.
Yes, so that
scene itself, I was like, let's go.
Well, okay, so that is another movie that they dropped that was in production after Justice League was made by Snyder and before the studio butchered it. They were hoping for an R rating, and Batman was going to go against Deathstroke.
Yep.
And that was for one, Ben Affleck wasn't that bad as Batman.
I thought he was great. People shit on him. I thought he was fine.
Well, you have to look at it as the Frank Miller's Batman. If you ever read,
and everybody has this expectation that it's going to be Christian Bale every single time, and folks, that's just one side of it. I don't
think Christian Bale was the best Batman.
No, he made a great Dark Knight.
I think Christian Bale was the best Bruce Wayne and the best Batman movies.
Yes, for
sure. But I think Michael Keaton was the best Batman.
Michael Keaton, I would agree with you, is the best Batman. And it's hard for me to fight that. I mean, Michael Keaton was legendary in that role.
The Christian Bale's voice was just, as Batman, was a little too much for me. It was,
yeah. And even Ben Affleck's with the voice moderator that he had.
Yeah.
Like I found myself when I was watching the Justice League, I was kind of sitting there trying to understand like where the hell the robot voice just all of a sudden came from. Like it was just overstimulated. I'm like, okay, guys, he wasn't like that. He was his voice is never like that. Stop it. Like I hate this. And I understand that they're trying to put the differential between Bruce Wayne and Batman. And I totally understand. But if you agree with what we said, watch the last 20 minutes. If you don't want to watch 4 hours, watch the last 20 minutes because you get segued into what could be the start of an absolutely beautiful Snyderverse. And
they had Justice League 2 was there because they introduced the Martian Manhunter.
Yep. That's exactly another huge
point. You kind of saw it coming, but the Martian Manhunter's there. Everyone's there. They introduced the idea of they're taking the fight to Darkseid.
Yep.
Which is probably gonna set up the Green Lantern Corps in the next movie.
And the Green Lantern made a bit of an appearance.
The Green Lanterns made a bit of an appearance. The Green Lanterns were in it. He had everything in it.
Yep.
Like he literally did everything.
Yep.
And then and Injustice. He also
he got it ready. He set it on a platter.
It was right there, sitting there for you. And he also set up like if you want to do the Killing Joke, that's right there too.
Lex Luthor back again, setting up Superman again,
and actually a better Lex Luthor.
I liked Jesse Eisenberg. I didn't mind.
I don't know. I didn't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor in Batman vs Superman.
He was good here though.
I thought like a coked up Mark Zuckerberg wasn't really Lex Luthor, but.
Don't shut us down on Facebook, Mark.
Sorry, Mr. Zuckerberg.
So sorry. No, I would say that out of 5, I'll give the movie a 4.5. I was blown away the entire time. Just the theatrics, the way that he presented, like you said, everything was kind of tied up for Marvel to really right now, or DC right now, to really take advantage of this, because for so long they've been getting their asses kicked time and time again when it comes to being in that Marvel thing. But we also haven't really dived into it, but we should do this right now while we still have some time. Suicide Squad 2 trailer came out, and I am looking forward to this movie. Now, Suicide Squad let us down the first time. It was not good.
So after DC, after we saw the Snyder Cut, we got to see how bad DC really dropped the ball. That made me want to see the Ayer cut of his Suicide Squad, because David Ayer is a better director than what they gave us.
For sure, 100%.
I knew when I watched Justice League theatrical cut that Zack Snyder was better at directing action scenes than what they gave us.
Right.
And I had the exact same feeling watching Suicide Squad, that David Ayer was better at directing action scenes than 100%. What they gave us. But as much as I would love to see the Ayer cut, this James Gunn cut, with the R rating to boot.
Yeah, I mean,
Margot Robbie back. This looks awesome too. Take us through the cast.
Yeah, so I mean, Margot Robbie, as we all know, Harley Quinn has played the role tremendously throughout 3. This will be her 3rd movie now, and I think they have set her up to be the face almost of the Suicide Squad franchise, which is awesome. Idris Elba is going to be playing Bloodsport, and so far from what we've seen in the Red Band trailer, I am so pumped for him, man. Idris Elba is just a method actor, man. He's just a hybrid. He's so good at what he does. The one person that seems to be taking a lot of the role, who's been taking a lot of the momentum, has been King Shark, and that is voiced by Sylvester Stallone, of all people.
Dude, they got Sylvester Stallone to do King Shark. Like, DC is not fucking around.
Well, they know now. I think with the release of even just having the Justice League release, I think when James Gunn figured out what was going on with that in regards to who they had to bring on, they realized that they need to compete with Marvel, and they have to do it now while the momentum's still there. And so they brought in John Cena as well, who's going to play Peacemaker. And if you've seen the trailer, he's hilariously looking. It is fantastic. Of course,
John Cena is a guy to me that has gotten better at acting every time he's been in a movie.
Watch Cock Blockers. It's hilarious. Like, I just one of his. It's just a stupid role, but it's good. Joel Kinnaman, who is like one of my favorites, is going to be playing Rick Flag, which is another one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. So I'm looking forward to that. Viola Davis is back again as Amanda Waller, as you remember in the first,
which was perfect casting.
Yeah, which is a perfect casting. The first Suicide Squad, she's there as well, playing the exact same role. We've got Pete Davidson, of course, stand-up comedian, SNL, famous guy. He's going to be playing Blackguard, which is super exciting. Michael Rooker, again, is going to be playing Savant. He played an incredible job the first time around. And then Michaela Hoover is going to be playing Camila, which I'm looking forward to seeing her debut as well. And then Jai Courtney, who, honestly, Jai Courtney stole the role for me in the first Suicide Squad with Captain Boomerang. He was hilarious. So I'm looking forward to him being back and part of the cast. But
there was good casting in the first Suicide Squad, and I'm glad they kept
moments. They had some funny moments.
Some of that around, which I almost wonder, is this a sequel or a remake, like a reboot or a sequel, really?
What I'm
because a lot of the cast is the same.
Yeah, what I'm gathering after seeing the trailer for me is that, okay, so when they go in, so basically they're at the end, well, near the middle part of the trailer, they're looking for Margot Robbie. So what I think they're going to be doing is they're going to be looking for Harley Quinn for the first probably 25, 30 minutes of the movie, but it's going to be tied in with the ends of Birds of Prey. And I think that's how they're going to set this up, because she looks, in the trailer, she looks beat up. And I think that ties it in perfectly to the end of Birds of Prey, which is what DC needs to do, is continuation on the movies, right? And I think that's
what I know. They have said that Birds of Prey is part of their universe.
Yeah.
Which makes it 2 R-rated movies in a row. Which, you know what? Unfortunately for DC, they're best off doing R-rated movies.
I mean,
geared towards an older audience.
I think I think that's the difference between Marvel and DC. DC's much darker. I mean,
it is, and Marvel's their movies aren't going to be as good when they're made watered down. Like
Batman's dark,
intended towards kids. Dark. Like Superman can be towards kids. I will see that, but like Batman, like when you try to water Batman down into these kids, it just doesn't fit. Yeah, they all have dark stories. Even the Flash's story is wicked fucked up.
Yeah, like even when Batman when he's talking to Joker and he's like, "I swear to God, I will fucking kill you." Like I literally was like, "Let's go!"
Loved that scene, dude.
Oh man,
because again, Ben Affleck was good as the Frank Miller Batman.
But the chemistry between, and that's not just that; it's the chemistry between Jared Leto and Ben Affleck. That one scene, we see the Joker, and we talked about this before we went on air. I said the Joker, to me, in this aspect, has been broken. He's been beaten. He's despaired. He has nothing left. There's no Harley Quinn. There's no world for him anymore. Now he's just realizing that he's just a psycho who will always be Batman's biggest archenemy, even though both of them are both extremely dark, volatile people who have nothing. And I thought they set that up perfectly to be like, hey, Bruce, there's not a lot of difference between you and I. And his little giggles, his little like mannerisms, it's just a guy who was defeated, just like Batman was, right? Trying all of those years to figure out the Joker.
Yeah, so, 100%. And like I was saying to you earlier, the Jared Leto Joker in the Suicide Squad they released kind of sucked.
They just tried to make him modern, and it didn't work.
And yeah, it didn't work.
It was a swing and a miss, and then he released Joaquin Phoenix, and you're like, ooh.
The Joaquin Phoenix Joker is one of the best acting performances of
best origin story ever. That's one of my favorites.
I mean, that was absolutely incredible. I could go on for hours about that. That's another day right there. But yeah, like the Jared Leto Joker that we saw in that last scene there of one of those last scenes there of Snyder Cut was that's the Joker.
He's disheveled.
Yeah, like that's the psychotic, sick motherfucker that I wanted to see.
Jared Leto grew his hair out for the role. I mean, they applied the makeup in a way that, like, in that particular scene, you're just like, wow, like he's just broken. He's a shell. He's a shell. Because if you remember in the Suicide Squad one, and even in like he was a very eccentric businessman, almost modern day hitman type thing. And I was like, I get what you're trying to do with this, and I think you're making him a gangster. But when you saw him at the end, you're like, yo, he is disheveled right now. He is broken. He's beaten, and we finally have the Joker we want. Because, like he said to Batman, keep my card at any time. Just remember, you and I aren't very different. Then he has his legendary cackle, and I was like, man. And then, like, even his little quote about society, it relates so much to society now. Like, in the world that we actually live in, you know, like chaotic. Anarchy. We are our own, you know, like our own foes. And I was just like, man, this statement from Leto, he was in the movie for 5 minutes and had probably the biggest impact of the movie, because that set up the rivalry again between Batman and the Joker.
100%. And so I had to do him a shout out. We got everyone's favorite video guy.
Yes.
And my partner on the Blue Collar Cantina, Mark Guajardo, saying me too down the bottom here. I just have to say, oh, hi, Mark. Please, someone get my reference. Andrew, do you get it?
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, thank God you get it.
But no, Mark
gets it.
If you want some good quality, if you want some great stuff, Blue Cantina is absolutely amazing. You guys have done such a tremendous job with that. But you guys also do a fantastic job of breaking down stuff like this. So, I mean, I got to jump on your guys' show one time and nerd out a little bit. But yeah, I'm really hyped up for this James Gunn Suicide Squad. Butthole gets it too. Shout out to our boys
in the house.
Shout out to our Butthole guys, man.
Yep, shout out to Butthole.
They're getting ready to release they have a special guest coming up on their show about the NFL draft, and I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to jump on there.
Yeah, the Butthole, to give them a shout out, Butthole is running the draft coverage for Blue Collar Media.
I'm excited.
And
excited.
I mean, shit, so far I could not be happier with the decision. Butthole has got Matt Waldman coming on their show to talk NFL draft, I believe, recording tomorrow. But I mean, they're great guys, great show.
They're Minnesota Viking fans, so just take that.
Yeah,
for what
I mean,
is.
Yeah, you gotta bear with that.
Yeah, but, a lot of purple on that show. A lot of purple.
I mean, they just, you know, and you know what? You almost gotta feel bad for them because they're Vikings fans. And,
I mean.
You know, and I'm I feel bad for you for being a Cowboys fan.
I was just gonna say, because I know that I'll be talking with these guys a little bit about who I think.
We can't all be Patriots fans.
Yeah, I was talking to them about who I think, but I'll just say this one name in particular, and then I'll dive into why later with them. But Patrick Surtain at number 10, just saying it's gonna happen.
All right, well, we've got that there. I believe that's all we got to talk about today. So this is kind of a run through. I guess this will be our time slot for this show.
Molded by the Vikes. I love it. No, and I do want to say, just going quickly right back onto the Suicide Squad thing. I know we kind of dived away from it a little bit, but Suicide Squad 2, I think you guys are going to be very, very thrilled by it.
I was agreeing with you. They also like Surtain there.
Yeah. August 6th, 2021 is when the release of that is going to come out. And like I said, with everything that's been, you know, just even a WrestleMania, seeing fans and stuff like that, it gives me optimism that theaters are going to be back open and operational very soon. I'm not sure how many, is it 30 states now out of the 50 that are opened up again for you guys?
I don't know.
It's a high number. It's higher than Canada.
Partially opened up, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I'm happy to see that
it's starting to open up. It's starting to get there, but it ain't there yet. We ain't fully there yet.
I mean, vaccinations have been the biggest thing out here for us, so I feel like the rollout's been decent there. But I mean, again, once things are starting to I know things are going to open up probably sooner rather than later. I think this year you're going to see a full open. We talked about the NFL doing a full stadium capacity.
Oh, I saw.
And I know they're going to do it. They'll fucking do it.
Jonathan Kraft from New England Patriots said said that they're hoping to have full stadiums
Yeah,
at
I
Gillette
mean,
this year. Let's fucking go.
yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Let's
I honestly even said,
go.
like, I just saw that WrestleMania was announced for Dallas at AT&T Stadium next year. And I think I'll have to make a certain little trip down to the States. So I'll probably make a little leg and come see all the boys out there, and then make my way over to Dallas.
I mean, if you're coming to the States for the first time, you should probably just come to the greatest city on earth, which is
Straight to Boston, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't imagine what city you'd say is better than Boston. Because where else are you gonna find a guy?
All the Boston people are like, "Let's go, love."
Where else
the
are you
General
gonna
right now.
find a guy like me?
It's true. It's very true. We got to meet up at some point. Jesus H.
I know. What the fuck, I've never met you in person.
Right? Crazy. But nonetheless, yeah, no, Suicide Squad 2 going to be great. August 6th, 2021 coming out to theaters.
And what is the release date for Mortal Kombat, which looks fucking ridiculous?
16th, a day after my birthday, this Thursday or Friday.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I am.
I guess next Sunday we will be reviewing Mortal Kombat.
Full recap of Mortal Kombat.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I have waited 20 years for the release of a new one.
And I mean, dude,
this looks fire.
We'll touch on this for 5 minutes here.
Oh,
that trailer, if you have not seen it, go check it out
right now. Right now.
That they have everything there. The R rating. They got the blood.
Oh,
dude, I was walking around the job site showing that to 40-year-old dudes, and they're like, "Yo, holy shit, dude!"
Oh yeah.
Like I have very rarely ever gotten that amped.
Well, when you see the Scorpion and all that stuff up close, and like the way that the animatronic or the CGI and animation has come so goddamn far since the first one that this movie should be light.
The Scorpion, they showed almost everybody.
They did. The little part of Luke Cage there got me a little bit excited. I was very happy about that.
I'm amped. They even showed Jax losing his arms. Like,
yeah, it's like they did an homage to the first movie in that trailer where they freeze his arms off, right, and then he just kind of blows up. But this one looked vicious. I was like, whoa, we're in for one now.
They're doing this vicious. It looks like we're gonna see Scorpion's family get killed, like the Scorpion origin story. See them get apparently get brutally murdered by Sub-Zero.
It looks nuts.
They looks like they got the finishing moves. They had him say, "Get over here."
I know. And I was like,
I lost it. They had it all. It was all there. I'm hyped. I'm glad we figured out what our next episode is.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess thanks everybody for checking us out. This is we'll be a little more orthodox next time, a little more prepared. Yeah, this has been the first episode of Sutton and The General. Andrew, you wanna? They can see where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Andrew Con, of course, you see on the little bottom here on Twitter. You can also follow us at the Boomtown Pod on Facebook, all things MMA. We are just gearing up. Busy fight card coming up, UFC 262. I mean, 261 even looks like it's going to be insane with fans back in the stadium in Jacksonville. 15,000 people, fastest sellout in UFC history for an arena show. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And I was going to mention Mark for a specific reason. Now, Mark reached out to the Red Power Ranger. Now, there is a beef that is brewing in the Power Ranger universe. And the Red Power Ranger and the Blue Power Ranger have challenged each other to an actual MMA fight. So Mark tagged me. He commented the Red Power Ranger and said, "It's on. I want this to happen." So what I am going to try to do is set up this fight, and Blue Collar Media will be officially launching this one-on-one battle. We want this. We want the smoke. And myself is going to host this.
yeah. I don't even need to talk to Paul on this. Paul, if you're watching, I'm sure you're going to text me and tell me it's approved because I know this is approved. We are all in. We want this fight to happen. I will put this fight on. If I can make it happen, I will put this fucking fight on.
We will do everything in our power to make sure that this is set up for this fight. They don't like each other at all. So Mark and I were talking and we're like, I wonder.
Let's go.
So we're going to talk to both opponents. We're going to see what's up, and we're going to see what we can kind of set up for the old Blue Collar Media Group. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Well, yeah. Well, we're gonna kick the can around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna shake the tree and see what falls out. I can't think of many more metaphors, but
can't wait. That's all I can tell you. I cannot wait.
Rangers kick some ass. Maybe we'll even get them to do it in their costumes.
I'm going to bring them on the show, so we're going to see what happens.
Oh, man. God, I love this show already.
Hell to the yes.
So, yeah, that's all we got for you, folks. Again, thank you for coming out.